What is up, everyone? The studio is, well, clean, ready to be made dirty very soon. I want to start off the video, though, by talking about this work mat here. This is something you can use. You can actually ground yourself if you want to be super proper with PC building and the like, but I took those off. I just use this kind of like as a building mat to protect the finish on the wood underneath, even though this desk really isn't that expensive. But I have this mat linked in the description along with a few other alternatives. This one is from Alpha Cool, and it's pretty pricey, so I recommend getting something maybe a bit cheaper than this that will do the same thing that this one was designed to do. It's also easy to cut down to size, so it kind of fits the shape of the desk. Now, as for today's video, we've got to take a tour to the closet here. This is not only my personal closet for clothes and whatnot, but also all of the tech gear that I've kind of just stashed back here, along with 2 PC builds that I haven't yet torn down. So in this video, we're going to tear down the Ryzen 7 custom loop PC build. In this case right here, this is the Fractal-Defined C. Sorry about the weird autofocus in the dark. It doesn't do very well. Is it too soon? Yeah, too soon. So in every custom loop, you've got 3 primary components. You've got your radiators, you've got your water blocks for your graphics cards and or CPU, and then you've got your reservoir somewhere else in the case. I recommend having a reservoir. It'd be pretty hard to fill your loop if you didn't have one. The trick to draining a custom loop is to start with your lowest common denominator, and that's figuratively speaking. So I want to drain from one of these 2 ports, because this is pretty much the lowest point in the loop with the exception of the pump, which is down here. This is going to be really difficult to get out. We're going to have to do some tilting and whatnot to get the rest of the fluid out. But if we turn one of these dials here, the fluid from this run is going to fall out. That's expected, but what we're going to have an issue with is trying to get air to be forced from the top of the loop down through the loop to get the fluid out the bottom, right? Because if we have everything sealed up top, then the only fluid that's going to leave is the fluid right here. There's going to be a lot of pressure built up in the reservoir and also in the blocks. It'll prevent a lot of this fluid higher in the loop from falling down. We're going to take out anything that's not critical to the loop. We're going to take out all of the cables that we can easily access, including the 8-pin VGA cables, and we're also going to take out the 24-pin. Pretty much anything related to the power supply we want out first, because if we do happen to spawn a leak somewhere, we don't want our power supply getting soaked by any means. You know, the last time I cleaned this was the last time I turned this PC on, and dust still manages to find its way in here. This is kind of the issue with semi-modular power supplies. The cables that you need will have to be plugged into the power supply, but any extra cables just kind of have to be hanging around, and that's kind of what I found myself running into here. Also, the pump is down below, so any excess cabling couldn't go down there, so we just kind of had to, I don't know, lay it like this. All right, power supply is removed. Now we're going to rotate it and start draining the fluid. Now, for those wondering what the coolant composition is, I'm using some DI water and some true opaque white. This is just concentrated premix here. Added that to it. I think it's 1 of these for every gallon of fluid. Don't quote me on that, but very simple procedure. Just dump it all in, mix it, and you'll be fine. Now for the drain, because remember I said we're gonna unplug one of these 2 here, probably this one just because it runs to the CPU block. We're gonna uncap this. We're going to use a funnel, one of these 3 funnels, pick and choose your poison, and then we're gonna have it drain from the funnel itself through one of these rubber tubes to the bottle, because I want to recycle this stuff. There's nothing wrong with the fluid in there right now, so we're gonna reuse it in a future build. Now, if you got really fancy with your custom loop, or you just did it the right way and included a drain valve somewhere, then you could just simply screw this onto the other side of the drain valve and then open it up, and then this could funnel into whatever you wanted the fluid to funnel into. But for now, we're just gonna try it the old-fashioned way. We're gonna shove a funnel right under here and just kind of raw dog it. Let's see how much of it we can catch in the bottle. Also, in the event of any leaks, make sure to have some kind of splash-proof zone ready to go. Yes, this is Thomas the Train. Do not judge me. And just as another precaution, I'm gonna take a towel, line it inside here so we don't have any fluid finding its way into the crevices of the case. And we're gonna go ahead and start draining now. Cap is off. This is actually working out pretty well. Fluid is pretty much out of the graphics card blocks for now. That's a good thing. We're going to go ahead and isolate the rest of the loop here by taking these out. So these 2 pipes are going to be kind of just hanging. What I'm going to do is take out this run to the CPU and just cap it off with one of these G-quarter caps. And then the only available I guess exit port for fluid is going to be this pipe here. I'm going to turn the PC, I guess this side down, and this will be where hopefully the remainder of the fluid drains. check it out, these fittings here from Primo Chill literally warped the PETG tubing. Talk about a watertight fit. There's one 1080, and there is two 1080s. Isn't it weird how empty the case looks without two graphics cards? So you can see we pretty much got the radiator isolated. The fluid up here at the top is just kind of sitting, so I expect the fluid level to be somewhere around here. Actually, this is where the fluid's equalized at this point. So the fluid in the radiator is probably around here somewhere, and we can see that up in the back there's no fluid. So we're going to go ahead and detach the radiator completely and try our best to pull that out, although it is kind of wedged against the pump, and kind of move it around a little bit. And then the last two pieces to remove, the reservoir and the pump. All right, and the last two things to come out will be the reservoir and the CPU block. If I can disconnect this without fluid flying everywhere. All right, and after about an hour or so of cleaning all these parts, I haven't actually torn down the graphics card blocks, but there's some goo still in there. But tore down the CPU block, flushed the radiator, flushed the reservoir, and make sure the pump was nice and clean. This is kind of the end result here, so I'm just going to package the stuff back up once it dries, and I will reuse it in a future build. So for those wondering what happens to the custom loops when you don't see them anymore in video, most of the time, this is what happens. I tear them down and I just recycle the parts. And now we have an empty case ready for the next build. So if you've enjoyed this kind of like behind the scenes look at what I do when I tear down PCs, be sure to let me know by giving this video a thumbs up. I appreciate that. Thanks for stopping by on this weekend of yours, if you're watching this when it was uploaded. If you want to leave a comment, suggestion for a future topic, be sure to do that in the comment section below, and check out links to support us on social media and elsewhere. This is Science Studio. Thanks for learning with us.